What's up, reefers? Welcome to Alex Pora Corals. This is my video log where you can learn from my mistakes, so come check it out. Alright, so yep, this is day 8 of having just all blues on at 25%. However, the last day I've increased it up to 35% on this one, and then on the coral quarantine system up to 60%. So definitely the toxic dino flagellate nightmare has officially ended, folks. That is right. It is completely gone from this main display right here, and there's just little traces of it left in the 20-gallon quarantine system. So we're definitely happy about that, right, Yellow Tang? So let's check it out. It was all over this crushed coral right here, just smothering down and covering everything up, and definitely was even, affected a lot of the corals, even some of them more so, that weren't even so much covered up by it, like some of the gonioporus over here. I'll show you, and so some of these guys were definitely more affected, and they weren't even actually touching it, but they were definitely affected by the toxic effect of having so much of these dinos just absolutely everywhere, just in the water and the growth. So I guess it's similar to diatoms. I know the diatoms are, a lot of diatoms are toxic. They have the diatomaceous earth that they use, at least for, the ants. At least they find it to be toxic. And so, I assume the same is similar with these types of dinoflagellates that, it's just especially, if you just get the more and more the quantity of the dinos in there, that it really starts to affect them. The clams, it didn't bother them though. It's just, they were bothered by the physical touching of it, but they weren't really affected as far as the actual toxicness of the dinos, right? So definitely pretty strange. Let's see, Duncan was definitely affected close up pretty good. Now he's back. And Elegance Coral definitely was affected. Definitely was. It's back now. It definitely was closed up in the stages there, where it really just wanted to open up with all of those dinos just like crazy. And the mushrooms too, they were definitely also, just half pulp extension, and they were definitely all weirded out. Definitely didn't like that right there. So same thing with the Euphyllias, right? Yellow Tang with the Euphyllias and the toxic dinoflagellate nightmare. That's the way it was. They were all closed up. And so one interesting thing got going on over here, all the way in the back right there. That's some of my some rhodactis rock right there, and it has some of the orange rhodactis on it. And you see to the right of it, there's a whole bunch of coralline algae, and it's just really, we might be able to get a close up. It might not be quite as sharp of an image. There we go, but it's plating out. Almost looks like a plating Monty porous there. Yellow Tang, we're over here trying to get pictures of the plating algae, and all I get is Yellow Tang in the video. Anyway, there it is, plating. Almost looks like the Monty. Yellow Tang. All right. We're going to have to do a story on the Yellow Tang here. He's definitely into getting in front of the camera when I'm talking about something. Alright, well anyway, there's the plating coralline algae just growing like crazy right there. Yeah, talking about coralline algae, we got the piece next to it. That's the mysterious clam on the orange disco soma. And so still loves got the coralline algae on them. And then the one on the left there is the purple purple rhodactis right there, and get a better shot from the side. It's interesting because it's on this rock, and the rock has a whole bunch of coralline algae on it, but that is interesting how much coralline algae actually lives underneath the mushrooms. Like, it seemed like we wouldn't get enough light, but apparently the coralline algae does really well underneath these mushrooms, where they're completely covered up with the mushrooms, and yet still get some light through the mushrooms, I assume. This would be like transparent mushrooms in some effect. I don't know. So that's certainly surprising how much, because the whole rock is just completely covered with solid coralline algae. Speaking of which, I got coralline algae in here just going absolutely mad. It's starting to cover all the rock like crazy. Got it all on the pump right there, and P60 all in the back filter areas right there. So if it keeps this up, it's going to turn into a plague. I'm going to have coralline algae growing all on the back glass, all on the glass, absolutely everywhere. But it's a good thing that I love coralline algae, so that's why I was really trying to get it established in here and going. And really had better luck getting it going in here. You know, once I put in those rocks, mushroom rocks that already had the coralline algae with my, you know, they were in the quarantine system. So yeah, there was definitely put those in here, and I had got a whole bunch over there and crunched some up in here too. Crunched a bunch of it up everywhere, you know, to really get it going. So that definitely seemed to have worked. And there's the mandarin over there. It definitely, and the fuzzy mushrooms in the back. And so we got the bubble, we got the small bubble, green bubble right there, and definitely died back in a spot right there, and I think that's just due from the dinoflagellate nightmare here. But the other bubbles are back. That's right, back to the full glory. I mean, they didn't do too bad during the dinoflagellate nightmare, but you know, they certainly weren't 100% bulb extension. I would say, you know, they were like maybe 75, 50% of what they normally are. So yeah, they're definitely back now. And the green Slimer acropore, we gotta check it out, guys. Is it still alive, or is it browned out and was just gonna die? I don't know. It certainly doesn't have a normal color on it. Certainly very, very dark. It barely has the lightest tips on the polyps, just a hint of green. So I'm hoping that's definitely gonna come back now. But it's definitely, it has good polyp extension right now, though. It definitely has some nice polyps there on the frag plug. And so let's check out the Acanthophilia. Still upset here, see? Acanthophilia is still mad about the dinoflagellate situation, and it's definitely interesting because it was at first not affected, and now it's like the last one to recover. It's still closed up and mad, even though I did just feed it a little bit of yummy canned tuna a couple days ago, so he should bounce back soon. No, but we come over here, check out the Gonioporas. Oh, what's going on over here? Looks like they've got some mandarins over here are fighting. Check it out. What is going on? Well, we got the male chasing the female right there. So that's what you call a domestic dispute. Definitely have a domestic dispute on this, guys. Does anybody speak Mandarin on? Send me a text. Leave a comment if you speak Mandarin. Find out what's going on with this Mandarin domestic dispute here. I guess they were okay. One that just bailed out of there. Alright, so we're checking out the Gonioporas here and seeing how they were doing. Okay, so got these green ones. I mean, they were green, but they were like a green and brown. Lost all the brown on, now they're just a whole green. So hopefully they'll come back. And got the gray one there, the bigger one here in the middle too. So and another green one right here, and then the red one. So starting to come back a little bit from where they were at, because they were definitely going downhill to die. And Heliofungia, though, definitely back to its former glory, folks. There it is, absolutely really nice. Almost touching the glass in the front, stretching out like crazy. Although it still has more to go from there, but definitely back to where it should be at. Ooh, fingers crossed there. And let's check out this one real quick. The 20-gallon quarantine, definitely the same thing. It's back a little bit on the lighting, but it's going to be coming back to where it was at. And so looking good over here. I got this right here. definitely just a few little bits of the dinos in there and the coralline algae. Looking forward to getting those guys back into the situation right there. Alright guys, well I guess that's it. Quick update, but check back on the next one to see what has lived and unfortunately what just didn't make it. Alright, happy reefing guys, bye.